All right, I'm ready.
We are live. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. How is everybody? Hello, Brandon. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you
Good,
doing?
good. How has been your week? So, I don't know if you guys weren't watching the show last week, you may not know. Brandon moved this week, so he had to go through all of that. And how did that go? Because I haven't talked to you at all this week. So
I know it's been busy. You know how moving is. One thing after another comes up, and it's just a little bit hectic. But it wasn't too bad, honestly. And what I really like about where I am right now is that I have like the woods behind me.
Yeah.
And this morning we were just sitting there. And we were talking about organizing stuff, my roommate and I, and all of a sudden this beautiful little yellow belly warbler flies up right by the window and starts singing this really pretty song. And there's all sorts of wildlife out here. We saw a coyote on the day that we came to look at the place, just hanging out in the woods. It is so cool. And that's one thing that I honestly have always felt connected with. I know you do as well, Kathy, because we've talked about this so many times about
the animals and wildlife.
Interacting with animal, yeah. And it's just, there's something so magical about that. I love that. So I'm pretty excited to see what this place offers, for sure.
That's really good. I'm really happy for you. You're talking about some of your roommates, or not roommates, people above and people below, not roommates. Roommates, fine.
Yes. So I don't know if I've ever had people above me before. And I honestly, I was a little bit of a dingbat, I guess. And I didn't even know that I had upstairs neighbors till we already started moving in. And I'm like, what is that noise? What is going on?
You think you had rats or something?
Upstairs. I'm like, wait, we have neighbors upstairs? What is that?
That's so funny.
So it'll be a new, interesting adjustment, I think, for me, but we'll see.
I want to say hi to everybody. So thank you, everybody, again, for joining us. Polly Free was just saying I had a coyote in my backyard this morning, but he was looking for my little dogs. Oh. And hi, Angel. Hi, Lala. Hi, Will. Hi, Asha. Hi, Jenna. Hi,
Jenna's back. Hey, Jenna.
Rylen. I hope I said your name right. Storm's Eye. Angel. I hope I didn't miss anybody. I'm just sort of looking quickly at the list. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Matthew. Oh, okay. Is that your name, Matthew? Yeah. So my week's been pretty. That's okay, Matthew. Don't worry about it. No worry. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. My week's been pretty quiet for the most part. I would have to say, just going through this whole full moon crap that we've all had to deal with right now. It's funny, 11/11. It was just like literally 1:11 here. And it we've talked about that, how sometimes we'll either start the show at like 1:11 or it will be like 1:11 at some point that I've just been seeing. There's been a lot of angel numbers showing up for me this week. Matthew was just saying it has, like, this full moon has been super intense. Like last night, I just sort of, I went outside and took some pictures. Actually, I got to tell you guys what I did do though. I did buy the new S21. I'm excited. S21 Ultra.
Ooh.
It just came out yesterday. I know I'm such a
fancy.
I'm such a tech geek when it comes to shit.
So Aquarian.
It's like, oh, there's a new phone. I have to go get it. Okay, I'm gonna go get this new phone. So my contracts are always like refreshing themselves because of the fact that it's like I make it so that it's like a 1 year. Every year I get the new phone. I have to have the brand new phone. So it literally just came out. Cathryn's saying I have the S20. I actually have the S20. I'm going to sell it. So I buy, I sell, I buy, I sell, I buy, I sell. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, the new camera on it is amazing. So that's why I wanted to get it. And it's funny, just out of the spiritual realm. So I'm one of those, like, I'm a real tech geek when it comes to some things. So I'll watch the iPhone 12 and the S21. And I was like, okay, which one do I want? Because I don't really like iPhone, but I would get it if it had a better camera and better technology or whatever, right? I'd suck it up. And the S21 kept coming out on top. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just sticking with what I know.
Man, I'm behind. I am still on the iPhone 8. I'm like 3 or 4, maybe 5 buttons behind. I don't know. I like my little fingerprint scanner. I'm such a Taurus in this way. Like,
okay, but Brandon.
What?
Samsung came out with all of the crap that you guys have on that iPhone 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. That happens all the time. Samsung has always got like the better stuff. Like, one of the things I love, I mean, you know, I'm a talker. One of the things I love about it is you can like have like 10 different calls at once and like mitigate all of them. You can pause one, hang up on one. It's like a switchboard. I'm like, that is amazing. You know how many times I have like 4 or 5-way conversations? Like, that's really perfect.
That's awesome.
But no, my stubborn butt's just going to stay on the iPhone forever, probably.
That's okay. That's okay. We'll forgive you for your iPhone. No, I'm just teasing. Probably everybody on here is like, iPhone. It's like,
wait, I should have 2 phones and then I'll really be in the game.
Right. Yeah. You try to keep up with me, hon.
Yeah, you got like a phone of every brand. You probably got the Huawei from China. You got
3 iPads. Like, it's kind of ridiculous. I'm slightly a geek, but yeah. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Angel, yes, absolutely. We're going to be opening up the readings fairly soon. I think that I know that Brandon does have some more moving stuff to do. So it's going to be a little bit of a shorter show. It's still going to be a couple of hours, but a little bit of a shorter show. And so Matthew just says, I only have the 8 as well. So you're not alone. So see?
Yes. Solidarity.
There you go. But we are going to be opening up the show, you know, fairly quickly. I know too. So I just want to see what Cathryn's made. I have a note too, but things weren't working. Yeah, I've heard about the note too. I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of like that galaxy person. I haven't had too many. I've had one of the notes, but I'm just like anything, you know, it's like a new phone. Oh, I got it. And it's not to be, what's that word? Prestigious or anything like, yeah, pretentious or whatever. It's just it's like literally my thing. It's like that thing that I've done ever since the very first Samsung came out. So it's like I've had every single version. So now we're at 21. So that tells you a lot, right? So even though they did skip from 10 to 20, so I'm good, but yeah.
Not to generalize too much, but I mean, it really is an Aquarius thing. Like, all my Aquarius friends always get the newest stuff. Even if they can't afford it, they're like, no, I'm just going to get it anyway. Yeah. I'm like, oh, Lord, okay.
Yeah. I think it's our brains. It's like, oh, we have to, you know, we can stay in like relationships a long time. We can stay with friendships for a long time, but there has to be that one thing in our head that is like new, you know, so we can be the most faithful people on the earth because, you know, we have that humanitarian, you know, quality. So we can't imagine hurting anybody, you know, in that degree. Like, that just doesn't resonate with us. Like, because we can understand, we have empathy for that, you know, for somebody that does that, right? We have that empathy for it. So we would never do it. You know, we'd be very straight, but we have to have something that keeps our heads occupied in that manner.
Right.
So if anybody has like, you know, the sun, moon, rising, or any Aquarian, you know, background, planetary zodiac in their zodiac, you know, you may find that this is something that, if you're wondering where this comes from, that could be it for sure, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see about the challenge that we had last week.
Yes.
And what some of the results were, what happened, anything notable. What
And I
about
have a
for
new one.
yourself?
Do you guys remember the challenge from last week? So what we did is I asked you guys to remember a time and to stay in that energy of a time where you were surprised, like a positive surprise. No matter what the results may have been after or anything to do with it, it was that surprise. So it could have been like a surprise text message coming through, maybe a surprise phone call, maybe a surprise, flowers, or, whatever it is that you suddenly just shows up, but something that made you happy. Maybe you got a new job, that you didn't expect, or, a promotion that you didn't expect, something along that line. Did anybody work on this last week? Because you can incorporate the two together, because I'm going to be giving another one this week. So I want you, if you can incorporate anyone. So did anyone do this challenge? Because I'd like to see.
Well, I'll share with you what happened with me.
Okay.
So
there
was a few years, more than a few years ago, this was back in like 2005, there was a movie that came out, and it like really hit me pretty strong. And so what I did was I listened to the soundtrack, and it just threw me right back into those moments. And for me, that was a surprise for me because of the nature of the movie, and it was so controversial and everything. It was very impactful for me, a young developing boy, 15 years ago. And that, just figuring myself out, figuring out what I was attracted to or drawn to, or what I felt or experienced, or whom or what I loved. And it threw me right back into all of that. And it was a shock because, okay, we all know that music really is tied to memory very, very well. But it was a shock for me to feel as if I was that person 15 years ago. And it was like, I sat in that for quite a while. It was more than a moment, Kathy. I sat in it for a while because it just felt good to remember. It felt good to really, just feel that vibe again. So it was shocking and comforting all at the same time, if that makes sense. And I remember that was part of your challenge, was to not feel bad about the shock or surprise, but to let yourself feel, good or content or at peace or something positive.
That is fantastic. Will was saying that he did it. I asked if he would share his experience, if he's comfortable, if he's not comfortable. So when you were, did you find after Brandon, like once you went through that memory, did anything occur afterwards for you that you remember? Like where something might have shifted for you either within yourself or externally in some degree?
Well, I will say this, amidst moving, like I had mentioned, anytime you move, all these other little things come up. And what happened was I was in this state of just accepting, because that's what this memory was triggering. Right. That's what the surprise was kind of instigating, was like this memory, this feeling of being calm and content and peaceful, but just accepting what was happening, accepting what was around. And there were some snafus, with moving. And it was really weird because I didn't get bent out of shape. I didn't get upset. I didn't, there was no visible disgruntled behavior. And then everything just started to like piece together in a weird way. It was like uncontrollable how things just kind of flowed with themselves. So it was really, I'd say it's that state of acceptance that just let things be. And it kept me peaceful, and then everything else around me just maintained a sense of harmony, even if it appeared, disheveled or out of schedule or what have you. It just all worked. It flowed. It was perfect. It
kind of just changed your perspective of things rather than reacting to something. It changed the perspective of how you're viewing it. Is that right?
Exactly. Yep,
yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the challenge for this week. Now, for those of you that didn't do the challenge last week, that's okay, because we can incorporate these. But, maybe spend the first 3 days of the week you know, going back on that experience again, maybe an experience like we had talked about from last week, an experience that you were just suddenly surprised, like something that you had been wishing, dreaming, hoping for, maybe something that just kind of, you know, came out of the blue and really shocked you, but in a positive manner. So what I want to do is we're gonna change it a little bit. So now what I want you guys to concentrate on is I want you to create something. Okay, I don't want this to be a big thing. Okay, I want this to be something like, depending of course where you are at when we're, you know, maybe here because it's the middle of winter, but you know, like manifest a butterfly, manifest a coin, manifest. I want something small that you can tangibly wrap your mind around. Okay. Tangibly wrap your mind around. Now, I don't want it to be something that you're going to see on a regular basis, but I do want something that your mind can shift to. So, when we talk about this, and that's why I'm saying something small, like, and I want you to just really envision, I want you to actually like be able to see it within your mind's eye. Imagine just suddenly seeing, you know, a dollar, well, I guess if you're in the States, a dollar bill, or a loonie for in Canada, or maybe perhaps like, you know, a dime, or maybe it's a bird or a butterfly or whatever it is. I want you to tangibly focus on just the thing itself. Now, you don't need to spend your time, you know, walking up to it or discover it. Like, don't put a, you know, who, what, where, when, or how on it. That you can put a what, but not the rest of it. I want you to just focus literally on that one item. And again, make it something tangible that you have the possibility of seeing within your realm, but not something that is not something that you're completely desiring at this point. Okay. And there is a reason for that, but try to focus your energy just on that thing. Imagine yourself picking it up, or imagine it landing on you, or imagine it, you know, if it's, let's say it's a bird or a butterfly or something along that, or an animal, imagine yourself visually seeing it, you know, at some point. But again, don't put any circumstances around it. Don't, you know, and you know what, here's the thing, even if it is winter, if you want to try and manifest a butterfly, absolutely do so. But you know, something tangible at this point is kind of the goal at this moment. So that is going to be our weekly challenge. And for those of you that didn't do last week's challenge, again, try to imagine what it was like to be surprised by something, just something positive that came out of the blue that you weren't completely expecting. And all of a sudden, like even just those few seconds, you know, try to focus in on it for about, like I said, 17 seconds. Do it, you know, several times throughout the day, and stay in that positive energy of that surprise if you can. And then the next part of the week, go into the energy of, you know, tangibly trying to manifest something. When I say trying, it because there's no fail on this, okay? It is just watching and working on our vibrations at this moment. So pick an object, and even throughout the week, just, you know, imagine, like I said, imagine yourself touching it, holding it, seeing what it would feel like, okay? And put that energy towards that. So there we go. That's a great
idea. I'm wondering if we should type it in a chat so we can kind of have receipts to see if people have manifested it next week. Mm-hmm. And that way we can see. I think I'm going to take your idea, Kathy, and do the butterfly. You know, I'm in Texas, so yeah, it's not really winter. So it might be a little easier for me down here to see a butterfly than it may be up there. But I think I'm going to try that one because it's not something that I commonly see. It's not something that's typical. You know, I think butterflies are more by watery, meadowy kind of areas. So I don't know if I'm by any water. Well, I know I'm like closer to the lake than I was before, but
we have them all over the place here. I don't know. Well, here's the thing.
Love that.
here's the thing, guys. I don't want you to dismiss. You know what? If you decide that you choose, let's say you're in the middle of like 40 feet of snow or something, not that we are, but but if you do decide to focus in on something like a butterfly, pay attention though as to where that butterfly could show up. Because it doesn't need to be alive. It doesn't need to be a real butterfly. It can be through, maybe a social media platform, something along that line. So it is something that you can pay attention to if you choose to do that. But again, make it something that would make you happy, but there's no emotion attached to it. Okay. Don't sit there and go, I'm manifesting a proposal this week. We're not there. Right? Work on something tangible within yourself. Like that's what we want to do. So yes.
Oh, Will shared his challenge from last week.
Good. What does he say? It was a surprise from high school or junior high. I won an art reward. I went on stage with my art teacher. We were in front of the whole school and she was telling them about my achievement. Oh, that is amazing.
Ooh,
see, that sort of
art.
thing, like that is what a beautiful thing to happen though, too. Like, especially in high school and junior high, where that is like the top of the world for a kid, for a teenager. Like that is something that, first of all, congratulations, Will, and thank you for sharing. But that is an amazing time. Like that is an amazing memory. Right?
It is. I remember I was, in grade school and I drew a picture, and I've never been like an artist of any kind, but it was like orcas, killer whales. And I drew it because, I loved them, and I just loved drawing it because I was in love with them. And all of a sudden I got some letter saying that they put my art in some book, and it went, all over the country. I'm like, what? This is so cool. And, it was for grade school kids, but I'm like, that is an amazing thing, for like a 4th, 5th grader. It felt like such a big achievement to me. I was so proud, so happy. So you're absolutely right, Kathy. That's such an important developmental time, I think, for people.
It's funny, and we've talked about, with kids before, on the show and stuff like that. Do you ever find kids have the most amazing manifestation abilities when they're brought up in an environment that manifestation is allowed? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
yeah.
Not that the parents have to be spiritual or talk about manifestation or something like that. But when the parents are in a more positive mind frame, like, yes, you can do that. Yes. Hey, maybe you're not the best artist. And this is not towards anybody. Maybe you're not the best artist, but go for it. Try it. Do it. Who knows where this is going to go? Maybe you'll, discover talents that you didn't know you had. Definitely try this. And it's putting that positivity onto a child and giving them that freedom of doing so. And once they have that, kids can manifest freaking amazing crap.
What do you think is happening to the kids right now that are stuck at home, that are being thrown back and forth between school and home and not going to school? And what do you think this whole global issue is how's it going to affect the kids and their own development with these things?
I have the worst habit of cutting people off. So if when I do that, you guys, I apologize. It's like part of that ADHD shit that I got going on in my head. So I don't mean to do it. It's like, so I think that it really depends on the parents that they're around and that they're with. I think that if the parents are in that place of being very negative, really focusing on, here's the interesting thing. I posted a picture this week on my Facebook page where there was a little kid and the mom was behind it, and the mom had her tongue and the tongue was coming out of the child, basically saying what parents are saying the kids are hearing and the kids are speaking. And this, I believe, is so true in no matter what realm you're in. And I remember, I'm not a gossip, but how long have you known me? You've known me for 2 or 3 years, right? I do not gossip, right? if I'm upset, I say what I have to say and I move on.
Exactly.
I've never been upset with Brandon, by the way, but I say what I have to say. I move on, and then it's done. Like I forget about it. I moved on. So I'm not a gossipy person. And one of the things that I noticed with my girls when they were in school is that they were never gossips. They couldn't associate in that realm of people that were gossipy or that were purposely trying to hurt another person, out of their own vindictive behavior. And it was interesting because having conversations with them as adults, they have, basically spoken about that. Like they still cannot get into that realm of it. It's just, this is what I have to say. I'm going to let it go. This is what's really bothering me. I'm going to speak about it, but then it's done. It's over. We're moving on. We're moving on to something else, and we're focusing in on our life. Right. And, same with Dre. Dre I don't even know if he knows what really gossip is because he has no clue. He's just focused on himself, his work, me, his family. Like that's it, his friends, but he doesn't get into like the deep, sitting there and it's like, did you know that somebody did this? And it's like, we've never got into that. And it's funny because I think that there's a lot of parents out there that are having a hard time, that they're struggling within themselves. There's a lot of people that are struggling individually. And this is why I feel like I feel like to some degree, coronavirus, lockdowns, and all of this have given us an opportunity of growth rather than recession, like receding into ourselves. Like, does that make sense? Like, I hope that makes sense. I feel like it's given us this opportunity to allow us to grow in some manner within ourselves. And it's not saying that this is a good thing or I don't mean the virus is a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not trying to put a positive spin on a virus or a plague. But what I am trying to do is basically say it depends on how we decide to focus in on that energy.
Exactly. And it seems also, since there's still so much quote unquote unknown about the virus and things, it seems like there are so many different characteristics or qualities that determine if somebody gets it or not. And I think a lot of people are experimenting with, health and supplements and how their body is, or what they're ingesting, what kind of habits they're maintaining. And I think a lot more people are focused on that concept, probably taking different vitamins, and doing different things. And I think this is, again, we're not trying to spin anything here, but what's nice is that people are becoming more aware of their health and their bodies, especially in regards or relation to other people around them.
Yes.
I remember before this, oftentimes, I would feel kind of, I don't know. I don't think people are essentially gross, but sometimes grossed out when people are sitting there and you have food and they're like coughing all over, you're by your table or over the sneeze guard or something like that. It's like, oh my gosh, can you please just be conscious, that there are other people around? Yeah. My goodness. But at least, there is some
human hygiene
positive to that. Exactly. Hygiene it's essential. That's what happened during the Black Plague is, we had to really realize, okay, we got to start being more hygienic.
Right. Like people are now, if they see somebody walking out of the bathroom not washing their hands, they're stopping those people. Like, hey, dude,
Exactly.
This is not a cool thing to do anymore. Not that it was ever cool, but now we're calling each other out to some degree. I mean, there's, the point of being ridiculous too, but,
right. Well, like this wearing more, I just read something where CDC recommends wearing 2 or 3 masks at the same time or something like that. I'm like, oh my goodness, what in the world?
Yeah. Why don't we just wear bubbles?
Seriously, at this point, let's just wear bubbles. Let's, fear everyone. Let's be afraid of it. No. Sarcasm. That's just sarcasm.
Please don't wear a bubble. You don't need a bubble.
Well, unless you're doing one of those really cool bubble things where you run around the field, you know what I mean? Those are fun. I like those.
Did you ever?
I'd like to try that.
That reminds me of that movie. Did anybody ever see the Meg? You know, with the big shark, the Meg.
Oh, the Meg. I never watched that, but I know exactly what
it's
you're
really
talking
good.
about.
And I have a fear of sharks, so I always watch shark things because I always try to overcome my fear. And people that have phobias, I'm going to be telling you something. You know, when you have a phobia, if you try to work on that phobia, it does make a difference. Like before, I used to see, you know, even a picture of a shark, I'd be the one like on, you know, curled up into a ball in like the fetal position, just about crying, like even just a picture of the shark. And it was horrible. Like I had no control over my behavior on that. Like I tried and tried and tried. So, I mean, it's taking me, you know, 800 times of watching Jaws, 1, 2, 3, 4, The Meg, Deep Blue, Deep Blue 2, The Shallows.
Of you going into the Jaws exhibit at Universal. Mm-hmm. So you must have did something good for you to be able to go on that.
There would be no way in the past. And actually, I think that was one of my triggers from the past because I did go on it when I was like 9, I think. We went down there, 9 or 10 was when I had gone with my parents. And that was when, you know, Jaws. No, I must have been, around that. No, I was about 12, 13, I think, whatever it was. Anyway, Jaws had come out. We had seen it because my mom had taken me to the theater to see it.
Oh.
And I was just little. But I can't blame my mom because that was completely me. I was like, I want to go see the movie because I was like right into every horror movie until I actually saw the movie. And then I was like the one crying in the middle of the theater, like, you know, but... So we went to, you know, we had gone to Universal when I was little and that shark popped up right here. And I just about like, I was like, they almost had to call paramedics because I was hyperventilating to the point where I was like, you've never seen anyone, like, all of a sudden, like a 12-year-old having a freaking heart attack, right? You know? So when we went to Universal, when I went with my son, we did go purposely on that 2 or 3 times just because, you know, you could go back and you could go around.
Wow.
And you could go on it as many times as you want. Right. But because I had to experience it. I had to, you know, try to watch my reaction, even though I knew the shark was coming. I knew when it was going to happen, but it's just literally like I had to do it because it was something for me. And so now I've watched like every horror movie that, and Will's just saying it must be from the past life that you dealt with a shark. You know, I really do think so because I do have like 2 birthmarks. Like one is right here. That is the shape of a boat. And so, and both birthmarks are like in that shape, like of some sort of like boat or something. And I'm wondering if I had some sort of past life shark experience because even I can't like even just going into open water just sends my I'm happy if everybody like if I ever went on, let's say, a vacation and somebody else wanted to scuba dive or do whatever it is that they're doing. Hey, have at it. I'm on the beach cheering you on. I'm I'm the cheerleader.
You probably got the drone that's like taking pictures of them above.
Right. But I am on the sand as far as away. that's where I'm sitting. So it's actually interesting. Has anyone ever like, does anyone else have phobias? Like, and it's so weird, right? Because I mean, I have like 2 snakes. I don't mind spiders. I would love to even get a tarantula at some point. Maybe it depends on how long they live because I don't want one for like, 80 years. But, you know, it's interesting, right? Because none of that bothers me, but I see a fin and I'm losing my mind. So that would be where I am. Does anyone else have phobias? Do you have any, Brandon?
You know, I really don't have anything specific that I'm afraid of. I will say something weird though that has happened is, when I was really little, I mean, I loved being up high. I would climb trees. I loved heights. I loved being on roller coasters and stuff. But now, as as I've grown older, I've noticed, like, if I'm at the top of like a building,
yeah,
or like a really tall mountainside or something like that, and I look over, there is something that happens in my body where my stomach kind of gives out a little bit, and it's like me understanding the possibility of falling down and not having control of that. I think it's more of a control thing for me than it is a phobia. Because heights still don't bother me. Like, I can still be up tall. I can still, be in an airplane or be on the top building. But I do notice that my body, my physical body, has reactions now to being like really, really high up. And if there's no guardrails or something like that, I'm like, ooh, this is a little strange. But other than that, no. But that's why I really like, using hypnosis, working on phobias, because it's brilliant, and you're absolutely saying the right things about how to overcome it. Exposure therapy is an absolute way, but sometimes, it might not be enough. We have to go into the subconscious and figure out where that is. But usually exposure can be just enough. I remember watching, it was some talk show, maybe Montel or Oprah, where they brought somebody on who was like terrified of like cockroaches and snakes.
Oh yeah.
And they put her into a hypnotic state, did something, and then all of a sudden they brought a cockroach out, and I was just like, my 11, 10-year-old self is amazed watching this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. How did they do that? It was cool.
My goal would be one day, but I would never rush it, and I would only do it if I truly felt, comfortable with it, would be to go into a shark cage. I would. Not tomorrow.
That'd be so cool.
Yeah, not tomorrow. Maybe when I'm 95 and I don't give a shit. But I would go into one just to overcome that one last, what I feel would be my one last fear, right? And I absolutely would. I would try it, but again, not anytime soon, probably. But yeah, I but yeah, I would try it. I would try it for sure. Yeah. I'm not even scared of skydiving. Like, I would skydive. I have no problem with skydiving. I'd be a little nervous. I'm not saying I'm going to go jump out of an airplane tomorrow or anything like that, but I don't have that same fear. It's not the same fear. Or, I would zip line. I don't know if I'd bungee jump, but I definitely, and that's just for safety. It's not so much that I'm scared. I'm just don't really like the idea of my life hanging onto an elastic band. But that's just my personal thing. But, all of that other stuff I'd be fine with, except for the ocean and the sharks. I'm not good with that at all. So
no boats, no cruising in the open water. Gosh, you probably would have hated. We went out onto the lake, and we were on a raft, and there was like 10 of us just floating on this one raft, and we got taken so far away from the shore and where we were, it moved us all the way over. We were like just chilling, hanging, stranded out in the water.
So here in our province, for those of you that are in Alberta, Sylvan Lake used to do, I don't know if I don't know if they're going to do it this year, with everything going on or what, but I know that they did at least have like a Jaws movie, like a drive-in type of movie, except you're on the lake in not paddle boats, but those plastic ringy things, whatever, like those plastic rafts or blow up rafts or something like that.
Oh yeah.
My sister was like, do you want to go? I'm like, there's not a chance. Even though I've seen the movie 800 times, like probably, no, there's no, that's never going to happen. No. So anyway, so I don't know. What do you think? Should we open up for the readings?
Well, we do have some donations first.
Oh,
so
awesome.
Again, just to remind everybody, if you could confirm that, Kathy, we've got a donation from Spiritual J, so I've put them at the top of the list.
Okay.
If anybody else would like to donate, again, that does give you a guaranteed reading here on the show. Otherwise, we leave it up to a lottery list, and depending on how many people we'll be able to get to in the 2 hours, well, hour and a half, for the reading portion, then we'll be able to do that. So otherwise, just let us know in the chat if you have donated, and we'll put you at the top of the list. Even if you donated towards the end of the show, we'll still be able to put you next. So we will get to all the donations, and then the rest will be generated with a lottery list. So I think should we open the room first, or should we just do our donations first?
Geez, I don't know.
I think we should do our donations first.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, and then go from there. I'm just because I have to have a new phone. I'm just they're making me do all my verification, so I'm not trying to ignore you guys. I'm just doing all of that. I totally forgot about that because you know how that is, right?
Exactly. All right, so I'm just going to throw in here on the list of those that we've got the donations from. So Polyfree put theirs in first, and then Spiritual J. And then I thought I saw maybe one other maybe it was Polyfree saying that they might step away towards the end.
Okay.
So if I missed you on the list, just please let me know.
Okay.
So Lala, Angel will be doing the donation list first, and then we will open up the room for all others. So we honor and thank you for donating, and so in order to do that, we put you up first. So let's see here. So Polly, if you want to type in your question in the chat, you can do so now. And Spiritual J, if you he needs to clean up the paint. Okay, so we can do Spiritual J first.
Okay.
Either way, if you both want to put your question in, so I have it. And then we'll do Spiritual J first here.
Okay, sounds good. Angel, we will know about, like, you'll, as soon as we open up the readings, you'll definitely be able to put your question in, and then we are going by the lottery. I mean, obviously, it really depends on how much time we have between now and 3 o'clock, but we are going to try and fit in absolutely as much as we can. So, will I have success in Texas in culinary school? Ooh. I like that.
First of all, Spiritual J, let me just tell you, I'm in Texas right now. I'm in Austin, and food is huge here. I mean, we've got all types of food all the time. A lot of people talk about it, especially here in Austin, about the food. So definitely, logically, just thinking logically, it's a definite plus, a definite bonus. But let's tap in psychically and see what we've got going on here.
Okay, so I actually am being told that just let me think first. I just need to listen for a second. Is this okay? I almost feel. Okay, maybe it's because Texas is always freaking warm. I don't know. But I feel almost like summer months of some sort. I don't know, Jada, if that makes any sense to you. But I feel as though this is going to be successful. I'm really getting shown a whole lot of images here. So I just need to sort them all out. Just give me one quick second. If you want to pop in, Brandon, you can. But I'm feeling success. I do feel something about a year. Basically that, like, I don't know if this is a year course. I feel like you'll be in before a year. I don't feel like this is going to be a year of wait. I feel like a year until you're done of some sort is what I keep hearing, something about a year. And I feel, I'm getting sick. I'm literally seeing you handed some sort of certificate. It's like some sort of diploma or some sort of, I almost feel like this is like a step, like one step is what I want to say. It's like one step, like you might go to culinary school, but then there might be something else afterwards. Like it feels like almost to some degree, like the beginning of an education, like, or the beginning of this education. Like you might be going to several type of, something, if that makes any sense. I hope that that makes sense to you, because I feel like you might start at this school and you keep going. I'm trying to go to college for culinary school. Yeah, I feel like it's just one step and you've got more like it feels like, how do I explain this? I don't know if I don't know anything about culinary school, but I almost feel like I've got a master's or something in that degree, like continuing the education behind it in order to reach as high as you can. At the same time, I feel a lot of success coming in with that. So I don't know if that has helped, but yes, I do feel you will get in. Did you have anything to add to that, Brandon?
Yes. So one of the biggest things that I keep feeling, aside from, just brightness, sunshine, like you were mentioning, I pick up on that energy as well. And of course, being here, I know that logically see that. But one of the biggest things I keep feeling that Spirit keeps showing me is that it's as if, now, Jada, I don't know what connections or affinities or ties you have with Texas, but what Spirit keeps showing me is that there is a beautiful sense of grounding that you get here. There's a feeling of you really feeling it's secure, it's stable, it's rooted and anchored. And I don't know if you have been traveling a lot or again, what your past connections with Texas are, but they just keep showing me that it's as if you can call this place home in some way. It establishes a really strong root for you. But just as Kathy was saying, there does seem to be something that happens with your growth through this field that may take you other places. And Spirit keeps showing me that it's almost as if you're going to be, I don't know, it's such an interesting energy. It's like there's this newness and maybe there's like a new, I don't know, area or field of culinary art that kind of opens up to you. It's almost as if Spirit is showing me that there's something new to be developed. I don't know if it's maybe it's a new concept of a restaurant or food delivery. I don't know what it is, but they just keep showing me something new that is likely to take you away from Texas or taking you away from something that is incredibly formal. They just keep showing me this newness that really opens up during or right near the end of the schooling. So definitely be open to it. But I think Texas is still going to remain one of your roots for you. My uncle and aunt live there. They want me to move there. I'm going to visit in March. Well, yeah. Perfect. So definitely enjoy your visit. Explore. Shoot, if I'm around, if you're coming to the same area, maybe we can link up. Well, everything's socially distanced, but I very much welcome visitors here in Texas. I love connecting with people. But they're like Kathy and I are picking up on, there seems to be an expansion. Something that expands in this new and interesting way. I just keep seeing a path that is unpaved, and that's always a sign for something that is new or that is developing as something new. So I think, Jada, I know we've talked about this before in your own creative energy on the show, and it feels like you're going to be doing something with your own creative energy, like you're breathing new life into this ancient field. This has been around forever, culinary arts and cooking skills. It's been around for a long time.
What's interesting? I just have to add this. So when I'm looking into this, I literally am seeing you doing something with the food. Like when you say arts, I'm literally seeing art, like of some some mastery with art in regards to it. So keep an open mind on that. And that's what I keep feeling. It's like something to do with art in regards to the food. Like I literally got shown somebody who is taking like making sculptures or something along that line. So I don't know if that makes any sense to you. I don't know if that's something that's been a passion of yours, but that's what I was literally shown. So I hope that helps.
It definitely seems like a blend, and I love it. That blend of something that is, ancient skill, and then breathing that new creative life into it. That's just, I don't know, it's very intoxicating for me and my Taurus son, for sure, who just loves food and aesthetics and arts. I mean, I was just talking about it the other day. I had an amazing gyro from this Greek restaurant that we moved close to, and I was just literally in heaven. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm such a Taurus in this way. I love these little simple pleasures. But it sounds intoxicating. I love the vibe of it, Jada. It seems really cool and feels like a great step. So enjoy your visit for sure. Explore as much as you can. I can tell you this, Texas doesn't seem to be as strict with things closing down as I've seen other places. So you may have more chances to explore things at this time down here than maybe elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. So I hope that helps. Yeah. Oh, you're so welcome, Jada. And thank you again. Thank you so much. So awesome.
Move,
I just feel excited for you. So it's like, I could just see, it's like you're focusing in on this creation. That's all I keep getting. It's like this focusing in on creation. Wouldn't it be cool though? Sometimes you think, you wonder if somebody that you've ever helped, you're going to see that expansion and you can just kind of sit back and go, oh my God, I'm just so happy for them. Like that.
Oh, I cry. I tear up. Yeah. I tear up when I see that happen with people I've worked with.
When I get,
it's a beautiful feeling.
When I hear people have been married, or just something, or they're in their career or whatever it is. And it's like that. Oh my God. I'm just so happy to be part of that journey. Like, that's it. Like, just so even if it's like the tiniest part, it's like, it's like that energy coming in from somebody's journey, and it just makes you feel so amazing for them. Like, you're just like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Like, that is.
It does. Yeah. It really does. It's like it's a gratitude for allowing them to share with you that journey, that moment.
Absolutely.
It really is humbling.
Yeah.
Very humbling.
Very much so. I love it.
So I want to confirm with you, Kathy.
It's all beauty. Yeah, beauty's there, and poly-free. Everybody's good. Yeah.
All right, perfect. So let me look. Here we go. So I've got poly-free's question here. So he is up next. Oh, hang on, I clicked the wrong button. Okay, so poly-free would like to know: has the person I should be romantically open to being with long term already come into my life over the past month? So I can feel poly-free has connected with somebody. Yeah. Definitely has a person in mind.
Okay, I'm gonna, this is what I'm hearing. Okay, Zach, this is what I'm getting right away. I feel this is going to take some work. Okay. I feel like this person was brought to you. Okay. So what I'm hearing from spirit at this point, they're leaving it open. They're leaving it open. I feel like this person has a very solid reason for coming into your life. They live so far. Oh, okay. They live so far. I feel like there's a very solid reason why they've come into your, awareness, existence, something along that line. This is going to take, maybe that's why it's going to take work, is because they do live far. There is a possibility with this that is very positive. And I'm not saying that, to blow smoke up your ass or anything like that. What I'm saying this for is because this is going to take work. And I almost feel like from spirit, what I'm hearing is if you're willing to be persistent, if you're willing to stay the course on this is a lot of testing that's coming through within this relationship. Like, I feel like this is going to test your patience. It's going to test your trust. It's going to test your, like your perspective, your personal perspective towards things. What I'm getting from this person is that there is an honesty within them. I feel like they do have good intentions. I don't feel any negative intentions regarding them. What I'm getting here is that this is more of a spiritual journey for you, and they're sort of there to test you, but they're not going to test you on purpose. Like, I don't feel them throwing tests at you. I hope that makes sense. I feel like they're just going about their existence. And this test is more for you to see if can you stay the course with this? Can you be persistent with this? I don't mean chase them down, that type of persistence. I don't mean that, but stay in that energy of just and this is not, again, putting this on you, but there are people that, one thing goes wrong and they're like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to, that kind of energy. And I don't feel that from you. I'm just saying, like, this is that, what they're asking of you is to stay in that energy, look at things in a new perspective, to really work on your patience, to really, have trust in somebody, because there's no control in this. This is what I'm hearing. There's no control within this relationship that you're able to give. That's interesting. And I feel like that is one of Spirit's kind of plans. Okay. Like, you can't control it in any way. If this is a long distance type of thing, it's not like you can show up at their house. It's not like you can, like, you're basically relying on their trust. And I feel like that lesson in its own is what Spirit is really trying to bring through for you at this point. They keep telling me that, this is all on you. This is all on you. And it's going to be your perspective and how you handle this situation, whether or not it's going to go further into the future. So there you go.
You hit on some really, really important things, Kathy. I think we're both connecting to the same thing here. So what I decided to do is, in order to remain unbiased about anything, the way I ask this to Spirit is I ask, what is the energy of the person that Zach is to be with, long term? Right. And immediately what they show me is the energy is communication at a distance. Mm-hmm. And it hits it right away for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, exactly. Yeah. But what they show me is that there is a reason that this is happening. And it is because of what you said, Kathy. Trust seems to be really, really important. Yeah. And again, they're showing me this is part of the stability that is generated. It's as if you are, creating and building that foundation. But what specifically I'm being shown, and the reason that this is happening, is so that the intuitive connection and communication can be understood. Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but you are Pisces, right? I believe that's your zodiac. I can't specifically remember because we communicate with a lot of people on here. Okay, so it is Pisces. So that intuitive psychic communication is always something that you're experiencing on some level, whether you're aware of it or not, it's always happening. What Spirit keeps showing me is that this is the channel to be able to develop that. Because specifically with you, Zach, having a partner who can sort of be in tune with you, maybe not specifically read your mind, but just be in tune with your energy and being aware at a similar level, it just seems extremely important for you in a relationship. And that's why they're showing me that this distance is important in building the foundation, because it lets that channel develop and flow between you and that person. So this really feels like a strong possibility that this is the person that you can have a long-term connection with. But like Kathy is saying, let things develop, and things are going to rest on you, to see if you want things to go forward or not, because this person does feel quite receptive. But I think focusing on all the other subtleties that happen in your communication at a distance, I think that's going to be a big factor here.
It's interesting because I was just reading your comment saying, she's independent. And that's something I'm not used to, because I felt like this was important to have that. It's like you're releasing the control. And this is so important within the relationship, releasing that control. You can't control where she's going, what she's doing, you know what I mean? And that's where that trust comes in. And I feel like that trust is just so important at this point, because containing that trust is going to be it's like the leadership in this. So here's an interesting thing. I decided to pull some cards for you because I just wanted to see. So I randomly pulled these. The first one that comes in is the Lovers, but the Lovers does talk about there are 2 paths ahead. So be true to yourself. So again, going into this is really in your control. Where do you want it to go? Do you want to stay within these old patterns or habits or things that are no longer serving you? Can you release that element of control? Can you give that trust to this person? And then it's coming through with the dragonfly. And it also talks about have confidence during this time of joy, renewal, and connection to spirit. So they're saying have confidence within yourself, but also have confidence within this relationship. Have confidence, have that trust, be guided by spirit. Don't get guided by your ego, I feel is going to be really important as we go through this.
Exactly. Remember, when you share in love with another person, another partner, they're directly reflecting all the love that is within your own self. So if you feel like something might be, needed or missing, or you want to see something, make sure that you see it within yourself first. And I think that's why, we keep getting that message of you being, self-responsible and you being connected with somebody who is more independent. When you have those 2 similar vibes, they come together to share in a complementary balance and Absolutely. Not, off-kiltered, like, being with somebody maybe who's needy and the other person might be more self-centered. There is balance there, but it's a difficult balance. But the 2 independent energies complementing one another really is a great vibe and a great omen for a relationship to last.
Polyfree, I'm actually going to send you a picture of that card, that dragonfly, because Polly was Zach's just saying, be guided by spirit, not by your ego. And absolutely, I do feel like that might be something, to keep in your, just put it somewhere where, even put it onto, your screen or something that you can see on a regular basis, something, maybe even put it near your computer so that if this is a long distance relationship, maybe that's something that you'll be able to see as you're working through this, because I do feel like this is why spirit is bringing this through to you, and I feel very positive end result. Oh, beautiful. I love that. He'll paint the card onto a canvas.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Yeah, because it's a gorgeous card. And I feel like this is going to really be your guidance as you go through this. I love it. So I hope it's helped. I'm actually just taking a picture of it now. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Polly. And yeah, we definitely hope that's helped. All right. And now, our other donation here, if you're ready to move on, Kathy.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Beauty, if you could, I don't think I saw your question. If you could post that in the chat. we will be happy to answer that for you. General for February. Okay. That we can do. Again, if I missed you and you have donated, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, we will be moving away from our donations portion and connecting with others, but hang tight. I still haven't opened it yet. I might have some new stipulations so we can move a little quicker to get some more people, and I'll confirm here with Kathy after we do a beauties reading here. So just hang tight, everyone else. What is Beauty's first name? Do you know, Kathy?
No. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I can look. Hang on a second.
I know that she has been here before.
Tori?
Tori. Is that you, Beauty? Are you Tori? I just want to make sure. Okay, yes. Okay, cool. Okay, so general for February. It wants to see what's coming in February here.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Tori, can you give me your birth date, please, if that's at all possible? I'm just tapping in for Tori.
Is that September 2nd?
Okay.
Or February 9th?
I don't know. Well, if it's February 9th, happy birthday.
Right.
Yeah. Mine's the 10th, actually. February 10th is mine. So mine's coming up right away, too.
Okay, September.
Okay, September. Okay. Okay. Just give me 1 second. I'm feeling like there's a lot of okay. So Tori, I can't just focus directly on February. That's interesting. What I'm getting here is February is the clearing path for the rest of the year is what it's coming through. It is the clearing path. So this is the it's the releasing, the clearing. It's like what I'm here. I'm going to be really blunt. Okay. What I'm hearing from spirit and what, and you guys know, sometimes I connect with guides. Basically your guides are saying, get rid of your shit now and get ready to move forward is what I'm getting. So there's going to be a lot of tower moments coming through. I feel in February, these aren't going to be dramatic. These aren't going to be, things on the physical realm. I don't feel there might be some releasing of possibly people that are no longer necessary for your journey. But I don't even know if these are going to be like live people. These could be even just social media type of people that are of really no, acquaintances, but I feel a lot of releasing. I feel like basically what they're saying. So when the tower comes through, it's like a sudden change. This could be a sudden thought. It could be on the physical realm. It could be, some sort of material. It could be, with people, whatever it is, but it's a change. It's a sudden change. And I'm feeling like what spirit is saying, what your guides are saying is literally like, get rid of your crap before, because come March, you're getting on that train, honey, and you are going. Like you are ready to take off where you're supposed to take off. So I almost feel as though, I don't know if this is career or school possibly, but it's like something that maybe you have been trying to achieve or work at or get going in some manner. But this is the time to let go of all of the things that you don't need, things that are holding you back. It is time to literally, there's going to be a couple of moments though, that you're trying to dig them back up. And spirit is saying that's why they're coming through with this message. It's like, let them go. Let them go. Don't dig up old graves. Don't dig up old, stuff that you don't need. You don't need to pull skeletons out of the closet, anything like that. Like, let it be, let it go. and allow yourself to, I applied for a new job and I got it, but it was delayed. So I don't know if I have it or not. See, I feel like that will come through for you, but there is things that is going to happen in between that. Like it just feels like something is changing, something is going, get ready to go is what they're telling you. So do you have anything to add to that? Brandon?
Yeah, I think, what I'm being shown, it's so incredibly similar to what you're seeing as well. I keep being shown that there will be quite a few emotions and emotional things that come up during February, and that these things are going to be cut out. It's like they're being felt for the quote unquote last time. And it feels like things that are stressful or difficult or what have you, it's like you're not going, this cleansing process, like Cathy was saying, the Tower moments, it is working as a cleansing. So you don't have to be forced to feel these things anymore if you don't want to. But what's really beautiful about it is Spirit keeps showing me that all of this leads to a personal definition. You know what it really reminds me of is it reminds me of a Saturn return kind of moment. And I don't know if you're amidst that right now, Tori, or if you've already gone through it, or perhaps you're getting the finalization of it, but it very much reminds me of that vibe. The other thing they keep showing me is that this is all clearing way for the heart. And they keep showing me that there could likely have been other people's ideas or preconceived notions placed on you, other expectations and things placed onto you. And this all kind of gets cleared so that you, your own self, the harmony happens between body, mind, and spirit. It's as if they're all coming into a new sense of alignment. And like Cathy was saying, in February, this clearing energy affects the rest of your year, and it's putting you in this beautiful harmonious alignment that leads to your own personal definition, your own sense of growth. And it doesn't just touch one aspect of your life, it touches all the aspects of your life, and it keeps things, it puts things back in a sense of harmony. And, like Cathy and I were talking about in the beginning of the show, and with this new challenge about manifesting, it seems to directly relate to your own ability to manifest the things in your life that you want, because of you being in sync and being in harmony with all aspects of yourself. So you specifically keep talking, and focusing on a job, and I absolutely feel that this is going to be affected, but more than that, it puts you in that state of alignment that lets the job bend around you. It lets it work for you and not the other way around where you work for it. Oftentimes you see people, or at least I do, I see people in work where they feel like they have to sell their soul just to even, work this job and make money. And what I like about this energy for you, Tori, and what you're coming into is that it's inverse. You get to work in honor with the soul because you are creating that harmony, again, body, mind, and spirit. So it feels like, again, February, it'll be a cleansing month. There'll probably it'll probably feel like a bit of a roller coaster, but it's clearing.
It's
the
all
path
necessary.
And the way.
Yeah, it's all necessary. And I feel like Spirit's going to throw it right in front of you. Okay. Like it'll be right in front of you. So it's not going to be guesswork. It's not going to be like, oh, should I let go of this? It's like literally, oh, here you are. What do I do with you? Well, I don't need you. Done. But all of this is leading. I keep feeling March. It's almost like literally like March 1st. I feel like something is happening. I don't get wrapped around, the idea of March 1st. I don't want you to, sit there and go, oh, I have to wait for March 1st. Things can happen before, things can happen a little bit afterwards, but I just keep getting shown that March is so strong for you at this time. It's like you're letting go, you're releasing. Come March, it's like, yeah, literally like on a train and moving forward, like on this speeding train. It's like things are now happening. Things are now going. Things are now being created. Things are now but the February is so important for you. It's so important for that releasing process. So
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy that journey. Do some nice cleansings. You get some sage and sweetgrass. Do a little moon. I like doing the burning paper ritual during the full moon. That's one of my favorite things, to really just let stuff go and burn it with the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that Leo moon loves the fire. I love that fire.
Beautiful.
Egg cleanses. Oh, those are cool. I like those. I haven't heard that in a while. I like those. That's some ancient cleansings. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of shamans practice using the egg as well.
I've never heard of one. I honestly have never heard. I'm sitting here watching this going, I need to look that up. So there we go. Something for me to Google. I love that. So I hope that's helped, Tori. But I'm really excited to hear about the rest of this month or coming into February. Like, I'm excited to hear how your February is going to go, because it just feels like it's like you're literally cleansing and allowing yourself to renew that energy in order to receive. Mm-hmm. So,
and what a beautiful time to do that, you know, during that transition from Aquarius to Pisces.
Right.
It's a beautiful time to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope that that's helped.
And we'll be here if you need to chat and figure stuff out during that time.
So I guess we'll kind of officially open up the readings, maybe. So maybe we should just explain how it's going to work.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, for the sake of time, if we wanted to get to more people, for the list, instead of typing the question, should we just do their first name and date of birth? And then when we get to them, they can type in their question?
Yeah, we could do that. Sure.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Okay, so for those of you who are waiting, at the sound of the bell, I'm going to open the list. So those of you just joining us, the sound of the bell is going to mean that the list is open. Any questions or anything typed in there will not be accepted until the bell is sounded. But in order to be able to do this a little quicker, to get to as many of you as we can in the next hour, what we're going to do is have you type just your first name and your date of birth, and that's going to be your entry. Then when we call on you, that's when you can ask your question in the chat. That way we can kind of move things quickly to get to as many people as possible.
So maybe can I have your question ready in the chat, and all you have to do is press enter. You know, if your name is called, that might be the fastest way to do it too.
Exactly.
Just as a reminder to everybody, please make sure that you have subscribed to the channel. Please remember that we don't do health questions. We don't do, legal questions. And we don't tell you who your soulmate is or what they look like, that sort of thing. If it is in regards to a third part, like somebody else, please, when it's time for your question, please include their first name and their date of birth as well, just so that it helps us to type in, and so that we're not having to ask you, repeatedly, like, oh, can you please put this? Can you please put that? Because we do want to try and get as many as possible. So, did I miss anything? I don't think so. Did I?
I don't think so. Make sure you all like and subscribe to the channel, as that will put you on the list as well.
I'm going to run to the bathroom, as I do. I'm going to let the list compile, and I'll be right back.
Open the list.
Yay!
There we go. Okay. I had to get a new bell, y'all, because I left my other one out there. All right. Perfect. Thank you, everybody. This is a little bit easier for me to build a list, so that way we can go quickly. This definitely helps. And I also like calling you by your first names. I like that it's nice and formal. That would be me, the Capricorn rising. And then what I'll do here is, once I have everybody, I will type in the chat the number associated with yourself, so that way you can also watch the list to see, or see where you are on the when I call the number out, because I use a random number generator to decide who will be called. So I'm not deciding, just a random per chance kind of lottery list here. And seems appropriate since everybody was talking about the lottery this past week with, I think it was like up to $1 billion or something like that. One of the big Mega Million things here in the States. That was a big one. All right, so let's see. We've got Sherry there. The retrograde. What do I think about retrograde? As far as what, Tori? Retrograde. I mean, I have a couple planets that are retrograde in my natal chart. Obviously, we go through Mercury retrograde quite often. Will it signify a... Ooh, the suspense. The suspense is getting me.
What's that?
I'm curious. Oh, breakup in a relationship. I don't think retrogrades necessarily signify a breakup.
I don't
nothing
think
that
so.
I've ever seen.
They can happen a lot because people's emotions are in a different place.
Right. I think, with retrogrades, obviously communication is a big challenge there. And so, of course, if you're being misunderstood or having poor communication, yeah, I mean, that definitely can lend itself to disagreements and breakups and all that stuff. But I don't think it always necessarily means everybody's gonna break up. It's just, it is very challenging time for sure.
We tend to, when we go through a retrograde, what we got to remember is our old emotions are coming up, our old, our own insecurities, our own fears, but not only for us, for our partners as well. So there's a duality going on, right? And what can happen is as we're going through this process, it's like we're reacting to things differently than we may possibly have reacted, before. I mean, not to put it into a box, but we as women all know that there's a few days out of the month where we're going to react to things a little bit differently, to some degree than we normally would, right? And so, but this can happen for, it's like a planetary global thing. It's not just feminine, it's not just masculine, but they're going to be reacting on different, in different ways. And so that's why we sometimes do have that, those breakups, but also it tends to show us what it is that, what's the best way to say it? It's like, I deserve more, or, I'm giving too much, or whatever it is. And so that tends to make a play within the, within that shift as well. So I hope I explained that properly. It's not so much about the breakups. It's about how we're reacting to things that are happening to us at that time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Retrogrades are always fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They most certainly are.
All right, so I'm just building the list here.
Okay.
I've just added Jenna. We've got Jessica. I want to make sure I have as many people, and then we will start with the first one if you're ready.
I'm ready. Mm-hmm.
All right. So, all right, I'll type the list here. This never comes out pretty when I do it this way. So let's see. I know there's a few people who were coming in to the chat earlier. Oh, there we go. We got a few people coming in still. Hang tight, folks. There was something that I wanted to ask you, Kathy. No, I don't remember. Just number 9. Okay.
Just remember, guys, that you also have to be in the chat. Like when we call your name, make sure that you are watching in order for us to, because we're not going to go back. You know what I mean? We're just going to keep moving forward. So if you're not there, you know, and like I said, it might be not a bad idea to just have your question kind of written in the chat, just to, you know, to be on the safe side so that you can just press send or whatever.
All right, so the number is going to be right before the name.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so 1 is Carrie, 2 Tori, 3 Emily, 4 Will, 5 Jody, etc., etc. So again, if you are just joining in, you can still be put on the list. Just go ahead, type your first name and your date of birth. That will be your entry. When we call upon you, that is when you can ask your question. It just helps the process go a little bit faster here for me. And that way we can get to as many of you as possible.
Awesome.
All right. So let's start off here with the first one. We've got 9 people currently. And let's see who is coming up first. All right, that is going to be lucky number 5.
Lucky number 5. Who is that? Jody.
So that
okay.
is Jody. So Jody, go ahead and type your question here. Thank you, Polly Free. So Angel, go ahead and type your first name and your date of birth in the chat, and that way that will be your entry. When we call upon you, that is when you can ask your question. All right, Heather, I've got you. All right, so Jody, 1024. Jody would like to know, single lady, love reading, please.
Okay. 1024. All right. So I'm assuming that there's no one else. She was just saying she was single. Okay. I feel like
Single lady.
I'm really hearing. Just give me 1 second, Jody. I'm hearing something coming through. I almost feel like there is some sort of a past energy coming forward for you, which is interesting. I don't know if this is going to be in a matter of a romantic relationship. I almost feel like this is a friendship coming through, but I feel like it's this really interesting energy. I haven't actually gotten this energy for a while, meaning that like on the show live, but what I'm being told here is something about a past friendship of some sort bringing through some sort of romantic relationship for you. And it might be that, you know, it could be a matter of releasing something. It could be a matter of literally being introduced to somebody through some sort of, it doesn't need to be a relation, like a past friendship that you've already, you know, that's not in your life anymore. This could be like an old friend or somebody, but I feel like there's an introduction of some sort that is coming through for you. This is really interesting because I never really like to get, you know, too specific when it comes to people meeting, but this is the first thing I'm really hearing. It feels like, it almost feels as though somebody that knows you really well is going to introduce you to somebody. It just feels like maybe there's a connection to this friend or something along that line, what I keep hearing, and even though your birthday is in September, I'm feeling like this could have to do with September in some manner. Like it almost feels like maybe a birthday celebration, maybe you'll meet somebody. I feel like throughout this year though, what I'm hearing is that there is going to be a matter of dating of some degree. I do feel like there is going to be, it feels like you are going to be meeting people, but I don't really feel anybody's going to be completely too solid until a little bit later. Like I'm hearing in the fall, like around the fall, it feels as though somebody coming through in the fall, and it almost feels to me like this is going to be through some sort of introduction, some sort of somebody that knows you really well that might bring the two of you together in some way. I don't want you to stay in that energy waiting for that, but you know what I mean? But it just feels like it's almost like your energy is here and somebody knows you really well, and this energy is over here, and it just feels like this is supposed to come together in some way. I don't know if that makes any sense. That's what I'm getting. Do you get anything?
It's a very interesting energy when I connect here with Jody. I do keep being shown that there is an energy of somebody sort of riding in. They seem like this strong, confident type of person that, despite the seeming idea of dichotomy with somebody being strong and confident, but also emotionally open and vulnerable, that seems to be exactly it, because it seems to really reflect Jody's energy. So I do feel that there is this complementary nature, but the one thing that they do keep showing me is that there very well could be still some past ties or attachments, and maybe this is what you're connecting with
because it feels like something from the past coming through.
It feels like there still might be some pulls to this past connection, and what they keep showing me is that it's likely to become more and more distant, but it doesn't negate the fact that you still might be feeling things triggered by that past person or past connection. And it still might be coming up, causing a little bit of confusion for yourself, Jody, if you should be like going backwards or looking, at something again and over. I'm not going to tell you one way or another what to do or how to handle that. That's going to be up to you, because either way, it's not going to take away the fact that it does seem like there is this other person that sort of rides in and makes themselves very clear, very known what they're after with you. For whatever reason, Spirit keeps saying, like screaming in my head right now, that the intentions are so important with you, and that it needs to be very clear the person's motive and what they're doing. And they keep showing me that that's going to seem very clear and very obvious with that person. They'll kind of make it almost like they're putting it up front, like right out right away. So I think you'll know very clearly, very quickly, who this person is as they come into your life.
I'm really being shown a lot of heart energy here. It's like this heart connection, this heart energy. But the energy that's just above that needs to, it almost feels like Brandon was saying with this other person or whatever it is, this energy that you may have to clear first. Excuse me. What I'm being shown is it's kind of blocking the heart energy a little bit. And so that needs to be released. It needs to be cleared. But what I'm getting is like this heart energy that's ready to like burst out here. It's like an overflowing of this green heart energy. And I feel like it wants to come to the surface. I feel like it wants to express itself, be known, be shown. And it's going directly towards this person that is coming forward. And again, there might be some sort of past tie. Maybe you're introduced to this person by past tie or whatever it is, but it just feels as though this is coming through very, very strongly. So be aware, be attentive, pay attention to what is happening. And you will see that difference coming through. You will see it. Like you will see this person, like you're going to know, you're going to recognize, you're going to feel that heart expansion and know exactly who it is.
Beautiful. Feels like a good year for love for Jody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we did
I did confirm
donation.
That. Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you, Zainab. So if you could go ahead and either type your
Thank you
first
so much,
name,
Zainab,
what you'd like to be called, date of birth, and then your question in the chat. Again, for those of you that are listening, if you didn't want to wait on the lottery list, considering we only have a short amount of time left, and you did want to get a guaranteed reading, if you did send a donation, we would put you at the top of the list, like we are doing for Zainab here. And you will have that guaranteed chance at getting a reading.
Jody, I truly hope that that's helped too. I feel like a lot of people when they ask for love readings, sometimes they can get, it's like, it's not happening tomorrow. You know what I mean? So there can be a sense of disappointment. But what I'm getting here for you is that when this person shows, this is going to be so profound for you. It is going to be that connection that you've been wanting and needing. And as you just said, you don't want the past back. No, it's not supposed to be there. And that's why this new person, it's almost like they're ready, they're waiting, but there has to be, that transition in order for that heart energy to come forward and to open up and expand for both of you to allow this relationship to blossom where it's supposed to go. So, hope that's made sense.
The delay keeps cutting out. If we could, Jessica, so the link is in the description, paypal.me/Cathryn567. I'll type that in the chat here. There we go. And if we have any other, if you can't find it, Tori Beauty was able to find it just with that link there. Perfect. Okay. Awesome. All right. So Zainab would like to know, will the Virgo come back to me or will he stay with the Pisces? What's your sign, Zainab? What's your date of birth?
I'm already getting some information that's coming through. Okay.
Gemini.
Okay. So, Zena, what I'm receiving here is with this Pisces, okay, with the Virgo that is with the Pisces, right now they're learning something that is very important for them to go through. The Virgo can be very grounded at some degree, come at things from a very logical point of view, whereas the Pisces is not so much, right? Is what I'm getting. I feel like even though this is really hard for you at this particular moment, I feel like these lessons that the Virgo is going through at this time are very, very, very important for their journey forward. Do I feel that they're going to stay together? I feel like there is going to be a sense of them staying together for a good portion of this, at least at the beginning of the year. Okay. And again, it is simply because of the fact that there is lessons that are learning. I'm not getting a very strong energy between the two. I don't know how to explain that, but it almost feels like there's a lot of real trying within this particular relationship. Like it feels like they both really try to do their best to be together, but that energy is kind of conflicting at times. I'm getting here. Yeah, you go ahead, Brandon, because I'll
excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll clear my throat, but I do have something to say. Yes. When I'm looking at the energy between that Virgo and Pisces, one thing that Spirit keeps showing me is that there's a difference between the connection that he has with you and them.
Mm-hmm.
That energy over there with them is quite superficial. It's very much on this surface level. And what Spirit keeps showing me is that, like Kathy was saying, there is inherent growth that is being learned over there. And it looks like what's really important is that this Virgo is not as in tune as you are, Zainab, with your own self. When I'm looking at the energy between yourself and that Virgo, what Spirit keeps showing me is an incredibly high frequency. I mean, there are high frequency emotions. There is tons of abundance that pours through in that connection. There is this feeling of like acceptance and belonging and a feeling of home.
Mm-hmm.
And it hits not just physically, not just mentally, it hits emotionally, it hits spiritually as well. It hits so many different things. For whatever reason, Zainab, your energy feels in alignment with this type of vibration, with this type of connection. But when they show me that Virgo, they show me that all of a sudden these insecurities start pouring out of this Virgo being in such a high intensity connection, and that you were likely scapegoated, Zainab, as maybe causes or issues for problems or things that have come up. And there is that sense of immaturity that's coming through from that Virgo that I feel. And it's like, that's why, like Kathy was saying, there's some kind of reason that connection is happening for some kind of learning or some kind of a lesson, something that needs to happen. Specifically, they do keep showing me that with the Virgo and the Pisces, that communication seems to be a big thing being learned over there by the both of them. But it's as if they do have to go through this process and this lesson in order to let things finalize. Because quite honestly, that Virgo on the outside, I feel this is a person who seems like they have maybe things together in their life, but there really is an immaturity there that I feel is coming through either with the emotions or in relating to other people. And I think that's why they keep showing me that this Virgo Pisces connection is quite superficial, because it's on that level where that Virgo keeps holding themselves. So it feels like if you, like right now in the next month, 2 months or so, I don't feel that Virgo coming back in like the next month to 2 months. Like, it's not an immediate thing right now. I do feel a revisiting of this connection, but it does seem to be dependent upon that Virgo learning those lessons. And quite honestly, Zainab, I don't think you're going to want, well, I'm not going to tell you what you want or don't want, but what I will say is this, is that your energy, it vibrates at a much higher pace than to deal with the superficialities or surface level kind of BS that Virgo has to go through.
That's exactly it.
So it could be a blessing in disguise right now.
I'm just going to jump in. It's almost as though the Pisces is going to start teaching the Virgo in some way. And I don't mean this in a particularly romantic way or in a, whatever it is, but there is lessons that this Virgo needs to learn in order for their vibration to be at a higher match with you. Right now, if you were to take the Virgo, if the Virgo and you were really together, there would be a lot of difficulties. I feel like within this relationship, you would be bringing your own self down, your own vibration down, and it wouldn't be. You would basically be tolerating. I don't know if that's the right word, but your vibration wouldn't be at its highest level with this particular person at this time, which is why I feel like we were both saying, like, this Pisces has something to teach, this Virgo in some way, whether it's a manner of them trusting their own intuition or something else coming through, or, teaching them something. But it is going to help that Virgo really become in tune with themselves and their higher alignment and all of this stuff. And this is why I feel like there is this delay. And I don't feel like I feel almost like don't pay too much attention to the progress of this person is what I keep hearing. Let that be. You do you. Let them, be them at this moment, because I feel like this is going to develop and evolve without your participation. And I feel like you don't want to put too much energy into that into them at this moment, because of the fact that it can delay the process. It's like the more that you're doing for yourself, the higher the vibration of this Virgo will go on a more natural basis. Okay. So I hope that helps.
Absolutely. I think this is a very important connection for everybody. Honestly, it feels like a lot of learning, understanding, connecting, etc. But it feels specifically for you, Zainab, a lesson for you in monitoring and watching your own energy, what you're putting into it, or what other people are taking away from you, and noticing it to an even more subtle degree. That feels really important. Again, the other thing that just keeps coming through is that communication is being learned. They just keep saying that over and over again. Like, communication just seems to be so important here.
And whether the communication is actually verbal or, in some other manner, it like Brandon said, it's so important. Like, it just feels like there's I wish I could, I wish I had sometimes your words, Brandon, because, but I think you're getting the general idea of what it is that's coming through. Like, it is very, this is so important, whether it's, again, that verbal communication, whether it's a physical communication of some sort, it's a learning process. And this is going to be so important for your journey. So.
Exactly. I think just a note here in general, this, I have seen this quite a few times, where when two people come to connect, the energy that's generated, if it is, even of a higher or lower frequency than where a person normally regularly exists, it does create weird uncomfortabilities or fluctuations in a person, and then they all of a sudden think the other person is that problem, but yet they're not looking at their own energy into it. And so it always can look a little distorted or messed up or weird in some way. And when people fear bringing themselves to a higher vibration, they can easily dip out and they vibe with something a little more superficial or etc. And then they go back and learn those lessons, and they come backwards again to reconnect. And it can be a little bit disheartening, for the other person who's kind of waiting for that person to learn those lessons. So we recognize, understand it might feel a little frustrating here, Zainab, and for those of you that may be in a similar situation, but please understand, these connections come for pretty strong reasons, and they usually are to help us grow in and of ourselves.
Yeah. So I hope that that's helped. And yeah, I hope that's helped. So that's, I do feel this connection happening. It's just going to take a while. It's going to take a while. So yeah.
Let him go through his learning things that he needs. It's all on him.
And you're so welcome, Zena. Yeah.
All right. So thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Alyssa, for your donations here. So we'll do Jessica first.
Okay.
Jessica would like to know, do you see Tim and I in a committed relationship at some point? No contact from him in almost 3 weeks other than social media. Not sure when he'll contact, what he's thinking. All right. So just a relationship at some point, Jessica. That's what you're curious about here.
I'll just go first because, and then I'm going to let you tap into this, Brandon, okay, because Jessica and I, we do communicate with each other. So what I'm getting, I always feel this, I always feel this is in your hands. I do feel, and I've said this before, I do feel options for you if you choose to go with the options. I feel like you should not wait for Tim to evolve or Tim to, expand himself. I feel like the more that you're expanding your energy is going to help with his expansion, his growth. Do I feel that you guys will be in a relationship at some point? Yes, if you choose so, because I again, it just keeps feeling like you have that choice. If you say, this is what I want to be in, this can happen, but it's not going to happen, again, overnight, because he has, very similar to what Zaina was going through, he has to expand his energy. Right now, being in a relationship in a committed place is just going to bring your energy down. It's going to put you into a place where it's going to bring out all your insecurities. It's going to, kind of like not wreck your, wreck your confidence in some way. There's going to be a lot of, because he's not in that vibrational match at this point, but I do feel him rising into it. So it is going to be a slow process. What I keep getting is it's not, I keep feeling this. It's not about when he's going to contact. I don't think the when has anything to do with it. I mean, it could be in an hour. It could be, in a day. It could be in a week. It could be in I don't think that has anything to do with it. What I keep feeling with that is that the contact will happen as his energy gets higher. It just feels like if he was to contact there's a level of superficiality about it. Like, not that he's being superficial with you, but it's like he needs to get to a higher place within himself in order for when he's reaching out, he wants something true with you, not just in this placid place of where there's no development. And so what I'm getting here, I do feel it's okay if you were to reach out to him. I don't think that that's going to make a big difference, but I just feel you have to let go of expectations is what I keep feeling. You have to let go of, I want him to do this, or I want him to say this, or I want, this to happen, because at this point, it's very difficult for that energy to happen. So it's like you have to just remove your expectations around it and kind of just go with the flow of what it is that he can offer at this point. So I'll let you go.
Think that's we're hitting on the same things here. When I look and ask Spirit about this being a relationship, they absolutely show me that security, that anchored, rooted feeling, of two people being in something committed or dedicated to one another. But as they show that to me, they show me that it's surrounded with this like repression and this friction, and that's what has to leave in order for the relationship to be developed. And it doesn't, like you were saying, Kathy, it's not like there's this him being some superficial initiator or something like that. It's this place that he is holding himself in that has to be overcome. So I did ask, and I took the liberty of asking for you, Jessica, what has to be done for this to happen. But first, when I ask about the nature of what is to come with the relationship itself, they keep showing me that in order for it to be actualized, there has to be a sense of open heart, open love, and for that to be a regular or continuous state of vibration. That's what gets things moving forward. So I asked Spirit if there is anything that you can do, Jessica, to help facilitate that within him and mutually within the energy and connection between the two of you. And what they keep showing me is that I think we've talked about this before. There has to be that connection, communication, energy on that psychic level. But specifically what they keep showing me is to play. They keep showing me anytime that you can play, have fun, kind of act like a kid, and have communication, being in that way, in that vibration, this is when things actually start moving. And this is when Tim actually starts opening up. Because let me tell you this, there seems to be this rigidity with Tim, that he can keep himself fixed or stagnant or stuck on one specific path. But in the moment of play or having fun, when you lose sense of time and you find yourself in a place where you didn't even realize, all this time had gone by, this is when then his energy kind of opens up and he starts seeing things differently because he's taken out of that rigid path and he's now open to expansion, to possibility. He's open to different energy. And that's the space that he absolutely has to be in for this committed relationship to be able to flourish, to be able to be actualized and seen physically. So if there are things that you can do to make things light and playful. All right, I know this. I know how this is going to sound, but it's not a negative thing. But it's like almost like you, Jessica, kind of influencing the energy so that he can open up, and then that's when things are let in. You're not manipulating him. You're not tricking him. You're just creating the space, and you're allowing him to be in a certain state of mind, where it does create an openness within him. And quite honestly, that state of, childlike play and fun and that bliss, being open, it's a beautiful, receptive state to be in anyways already. It's just as we grow into adults, we just sometimes, adopt all these masks and ideas of ego and try to protect ourselves, from so many different things that we forget that we still are those children, that we once were many years ago. And we didn't lose that. We didn't lose that person. Sometimes we do, yes, but it's still very much there. It's whether we focus on it or not. And that's the receptive state that we get in when we find ourselves in alignment, with source or spirit, our own soul. We put ourselves in those beautiful places that love flourishes and passion opens up and purpose and dedication and harmony and all those beautiful things. So it's not a bad, state and a bad influence to put on him. You're just giving him that space.
I feel like too, and this is interesting energy that's coming through, because you were talking about being rigid. I feel, Jessica, that there is a sense of rigid around you as well. So, and when Brandon's talking about playing and allowing yourself to open up to the energy, it does feel as though there is this energy that you need to release also. Don't be wrapped around the, I contacted last, he contacted first, we have to do it this way, we have to do it that way. It almost feels like there needs to be a more open energy between you. Like, I'm not saying to go chase him and be the one messaging him all the time. Absolutely not. But it don't get wrapped around the time limits. Don't get wrapped around, this has happened or what they're doing or all of this energy. It feels as though this energy is really starting to open up between you and Tim, even though you may not be seeing the physical results. This heart energy is really starting to open up between the two of you. And again, you may not be seeing it, but it's being shown on that spiritual level. It's not about the time. It's about the energy that you're both receiving, absorbing, and allowing to change and evolve and ascend. And I really do feel like this is so strong for the two of you to come together. Again, it's always in your hands. It's always your choice as to your next step or what it is that you want to do. But I don't feel that you should hold yourself back. If let's say you decided you were going to date somebody or go on a date with somebody or do what, absolutely do that, because this energy is going to change and evolve and work for the two of you coming together to create, what is supposed to happen. It's always in your hands. And I truly hope that that's helped, because I just feel that as you're being patient and and Brandon said, open up that energy to play, there is going to be some amazing surprises that come through that are just going to sort of shock you. Just have to be in that energy of receiving and allowing it to happen. Yeah.
Beautiful. I think, I know we've connected with Jessica a few times, and I think all the information we've given really compounds together and all kind of adds together because they all still feel to work. I remember similar energies from what we talked about today, but it seems like each time that she has asked, new pieces, little tidbits keep coming out, which I like. So that's why I like keeping up with everybody here.
Yeah. And I, stay in that positive, beautiful energy that you have. That I feel is going to be the catalyst for bringing all of this together. It's staying in that positive, beautiful confidence that you can have in other areas besides Tim, right? Like, but
the energy is infectious. People feel it. They get changed, by it when you feel it.
And I do. I feel it happening. It's just there is that time, there is that patience that is needed. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Gosh, you know what it reminds me of, Kathy? When somebody has like a really infectious laugh and they laugh and you just can't help but to laugh too because you just feel them and their genuineness to it. Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Take a break from social media. Yes. I think we talked about that last time or the time before, that making sure you're not just tapping in social media. That really does carry energy with people. We need to remember that, every time we check up on somebody, it's like you're sort of knocking at their front door. It's a very similar energy. Just because it's so easy and quick to do it online should not negate the effect that it has, on a person. Yeah. We forget that because it's just so easy now,
If we think back to, the old days, when we didn't have like the social media and a guy actually had to like call up a woman and say, hey, you want to go to the soda store with me or whatever it was that, and what did women do back then? Or what did men do back then? They weren't sitting in, maybe there was the occasional person who sat by their phone hoping it would ring,
Sure.
But really we didn't have that access. I'm not going to say we, because I was not alive during that time. But when you think back to that, this is where relationships were really built. Like, they just went out and did what they needed to do for themselves. They were, they weren't sitting by the phone waiting and watching for a text message or waiting for a phone call or seeing who they were interacting with. If you were walking down the street, you would see, oh, hey, dude's with her. Okay, see ya. That was pretty much the end of it, right? Like, done.
Exactly.
But, or, hey, dude is coming over here and trying to interact with me and trying to have, some sort of relationship, right? One of the, it's interesting because when you look back, I'll watch like, what's that Netflix show, Bridgerton, that kind of thing. People actually had a conversation with each other, like, holy crap, what is that about, rather than this bloody text messaging and stuff. When we're watching everything that somebody does, it only truly hurts us. So, yeah, write letters. I wish those days never ended either. Because, think about it, right? You would be excited. You'd go to your mailbox and actually have a real freaking letter, or have somebody actually come to your house and say, hey, would you go to, X amount, wherever it is with me, or whatever it was. Those were real relationships, not this shit that we got now, excuse my language, but that was real. Right. And, birthdays were, a real present showing up, not just some text message, saying, hey, happy birthday, here's a picture of whatever. People really had that interaction and that allowance of allowing us to move forward. And I feel like it's just stay off the social medias. Like, this is not stay off for yourself, but we don't need to watch what everybody is doing all the freaking time.
Yeah, don't.
Like, when we get wrapped around that, it's just like, holy fuck, excuse my language, but that's total anxiety right there, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So let us connect here with Alyssa, and then I think we have time for one more after Alyssa. So let's see. So Alyssa, make sure, I think I've seen her in the chat. Yeah, there she is. I would like to know what you see ultimately happening for Jordan and I. What is going on? Thank you. Is that September 8th, Alyssa? Virgo? Oh, I think you were here before because I feel like I talked about this because that's my friend's birthday, one of my close friends' birthday.
Alyssa.
I think that's right.
Okay. Ultimately happening for Jordan and I. How does he truly feel about me? Okay. Okay. So this is what I'm hearing in regards to Jordan. So okay. So there is a lot of with Jordan. Okay, I need to find the words. You know, you guys know how I am. It's like putting the words into my mouth. I have to figure it out. His energy towards you is very oh God, it's almost literally like he's peering around watching you to some degree. Like I feel almost like this watching type of energy. I don't know if this is literally that he's watching you in some way. I don't mean in a stalking way. But it feels like, how is she thinking about me? What is she, what, like, I'm kind of hesitant about stepping forward, but I'm really wanting this energy close to me is what I'm getting from him. So it's like he's really opening up to this energy. It feels as though he wants to take a step forward. So I don't know whether he has taken a step forward in some way or what it is, but it feels as though he's ready to okay. It's almost like you ever see an animal like a rabbit or something that you're holding your hand out and it's like, are you going to come? Are you going to, come? And they take these little tiny steps forward and they take these little steps forward. And then finally they feel comfortable about coming forward. This is the energy that is being shown to me by Jordan. So it's not saying that you have your hand out or anything like that, but it's like he's opening up this energy to start taking these little like steps forward in some way. Like he wants to, it's like he feels the energy from you. He wants this energy closer. How does he feel? Like he's feeling like he can have trust in there. He's feeling a sense of confidence in there. I feel like he wants to open up, but it feels very scattered at the moment. Like he might tell, like if you were to have a conversation, it might be little bits and pieces, because I don't feel this is about you. I feel this is about him more, that he's trying to find or develop the confidence of truly opening towards this relationship is what I'm getting. So it might feel a little bit blocked at sometimes, but what I keep getting is him coming forward. And I feel like he's finally going to get into that power. I am hearing it may take a little bit for him. Like it's going to be little steps at a time, and it's going to be towards what he can feel confident about. So that is the energy. I think I may have actually forgotten the complete question. Did I? Wait a minute. How does he truly, what is going on? So I feel like him coming forward, I feel like this can turn into something. It is going to take some time. Not years or anything like that, but
no, but there really seems to be like something interesting going on with Jordan. I keep feeling, okay, first of all, Alyssa, the energy between the two of you like have love for each other. I just keep feeling love. Mm-hmm. It seems clear. It feels like you two are at home with one another. It seems like you speak the same love language. I mean, the energy is great, but what I keep feeling is like, I just feel like Jordan is going through something. Alyssa, is he like, I feel like y'all are, I don't know why I keep getting this sense, and you can confirm here in the chat or not, or deny if I'm not connecting right, but it just feels like Jordan is going through some kind of midlife or quarter life crisis or something. Like there's something happening.
There's
with
something
Jordan
blocking him. Like it's like a blockage of some sort that he's got to regain his confidence or something.
It reminds me, I think you're exactly right, because it reminds me of somebody who loses their sense of self and has to come back to reorient who they are. And so when I look at Jordan's feelings towards you, Alyssa, Spirit keeps showing me that this is what is getting the expansion or this new initiation. And they are showing me that it does come from a higher frequency place or higher frequency level. So that means that he is turning within himself, understanding newer things about his capacity to love or feel, or who he is in his own self in relation to other people in general. And then that's what's getting this sense of transformation happening right now. Spirit keeps showing me that his feelings are going through this like chrysalis almost, and that's perhaps why you can feel that block or something going on with him, because when we're in that cocoon, right, we're kind of blocked off from the outside world, only to emerge with a new developed sense of self. So when I ask Spirit what is ultimately going to happen here, they do show me that you are probably going to see this weird limbo-like place for a little bit. They do keep showing me like there's this new life being breathed into everything. But specifically when I ask about the long term, they keep showing me the bonds. They keep showing me a ring, which is always a symbol of a bond, a committed connection. And they keep showing me that this is what is to continue down the path. So I do feel like this bond will remain, but it seems like you're in this weird limbo place right now. And it feels it's Jordan going through his own sense of transformation that's kind of affecting everything right now. Your foundation is great. The bones are good. It just, for whatever Jordan is going through, it seems like, this is affecting the both of you.
Alyssa, I'm not sure about another person that might just show up in a minute, but the first thing I heard, so I was reading your comment here, so many lies and deceit that were exposed, he's pulled back. I'm actually getting that this is something, see, you remember how I said about that little animal that's kind of coming closer and closer, like a trust? This has nothing to do with you. I feel like there is something from Jordan. This could be a past, this may be something to do with him being raised, the way he was raised, or some sort of energy where it almost feels as though he feels safer in lies and deceit in some manner. Okay. I don't know how exactly to explain that, but I feel like it's almost like somebody who gets so used to, it's like a lack of confidence thing. It doesn't mean that you have to go give him confidence, because this is something that he should have within himself. But it almost feels as though this is like, it's almost like it turned into a habit, but not quite. But he feels stronger within the lies and the deceit. And it might even just be little lies where you're sitting there and you're going like, why in the hell are you lying to me about this? Like, what is the point of all of this? It doesn't make any sense. He had a bad childhood. He was also a Marine. So,
this makes sense to me that things are being
right, because
right now.
It just feels like this is, again, it's not about you. I feel like this is really something within himself. So because there must have been, maybe a calling out of him, or he's retreated this energy, that's a good place for him to be. Let him be in there. He will come forward. I feel like, again, like I said, it's almost like he's watching, like, can I trust? Can I open my heart? Can I take that step forward? It's almost like I want to say like a toddler who's learning how to walk. Can I trust this furniture to hang on to? Can I trust this person? Is this person going to hold my hand? Are they going to keep me safe? It almost feels like he's in this, like in this energy where he has to learn that trust again, which doesn't mean that you have to go pouring all of your energy into that. You're just doing what you do. You're being honest, you're being open, you're being, be yourself. And it's going to be up to him to come forward. But I feel like these little baby steps are going to start being produced. They are going to start showing. So census lies, like it just, like, for whatever reason, he doesn't feel safe within his own confidence. It just feels like there's no need for these lies. There's no need for any of this crap that he's doing. But this is a process. It's going to be your choice whether you decide you want to stay in this process or not stay in this process. I mean, here's the thing. We're not on earth to facilitate somebody's bullshit. Right?
I keep feeling this sense of Alyssa feeling obligated to, I don't know why, but
right. And that's why
Alyssa has this feeling of obligation to take on his energy.
But you don't need to. And that's what I'm saying is, like, we're not put here to tolerate or to facilitate somebody's crap. We're not. I mean, this is your life. If he can step forward, I didn't mean to cut you off, Brandon. I'm just going to finish what I have to say and then I'll let you talk. But you're not here to teach him how to trust. You just got to be you. You got to be just who you are and be that open self, be the person that God has created. And it's going to be truly up to him whether or not he's going to take that step forward. We had a home for 2 years and now live separately, extremely close to it. Yeah.
You're an empath. That makes sense when I feel that.
Yeah.
That you taking on his energy.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm done talking. But yeah, no, I just, sorry. I kind of just stopped.
Alyssa, I asked Spirit about, what you need to be doing during this process. And they do keep showing me for you to kind of turn within. And it seems like there's like a blend of you taking on his energy, but also making sure that you maintain what you had before, that vibration of things just being connected and having that sense of family and being together. Either way, I don't think that you're going to take away from his own process and whatever he's going through right now or further it. It does seem to all be on him because he is restructuring a lot of his, again, how he interacts with the world, other people, his own sets of beliefs, and who he thinks he is amidst everybody else. But it seems like you can kind of be wherever you most feel drawn to. And like you said, with you being an empath, I think you're going to be able to feel those subtleties and waves because you're kind of right in it, more than Kathy and I are going to be able to monitor or keep up with it. Unless you're here regularly, then we'll be able to connect with things regularly. But you'll notice all those movements and subtleties and influences and respond and react how you feel that you need to. But ultimately, they do keep showing me that bond ringing true. I think, honestly, one of the biggest things that he needs is just really good friendships in his life and people who are like honest and of a higher, I don't know, I don't mean this in any kind of negative way, but people of a higher caliber as far as friendships and influences in his life. And I think that's what's being restructured right now too. Having that good influence really can make a big difference.
I feel like, Alyssa, this is the message that I had coming through is even having to do with what you just wrote here. And again, you don't need to lower yourself to facilitate, and we're not put here to facilitate anybody else's, crap. And this has to do, whether there's abuse going on, whether there's other things going on, somebody that's lying and being deceitful. Here's the thing is there may be that love from you towards him, but is this how you treat somebody that you truly love. And it doesn't mean that I'm taking away his love towards you, but there is that lack of emotional maturity, you know, from him towards people in general, not just with you, but, you know, people in general. And so that is something that he has to develop. This is something that he has to come into his own power for. You can't stop your own life in order for, you know, this to come together. You have to, you know, look at things and go, do I really want to be in this, in this power, or do I want to be in a power that is going to be of my own as well? So, yeah.
Yeah. I am seeing here, Alyssa, you typed about the physical abuse that has happened, and we just want to make a note here that we are not saying that you need to stay in this, or any energy is saying to stay in this because of whatever we're feeling. Like we had said, if you know, it's going to be ultimately up to you how much you allow your energy open to that or not. But I'm just going to say right now, you know, if there is physical abuse, you absolutely need to not stand for that.
Exactly. 100%. If somebody's trying to hurt you, that's
just because they're going through something, that doesn't mean that they can take it out on you. Not at all. And I don't care how good of a connection you have, or how beautiful or loving or whatever. No. You can't let that stand. And so that kind of furthers what I was being shown about, you know, your energy kind of taking that backseat and not taking on his stuff. Because if you are available for that, then that means that, you know, he could have the potential to hurt you again, and that's not going to be okay anywhere. That's not love.
And I feel like
that's somebody's frustrations.
I feel like that sentence that came through, you're not here to facilitate somebody's crap. Okay. You need to replay that in your head. This is not why you're put on this earth. You're not here to tolerate somebody's abuse, somebody's negligence, somebody's lies, this is not what life is about. It's not. And so you really have to, you know, allow that energy of that strength towards you. I personally don't answer pregnancy questions. I don't know if Brandon wants to take a look in that, if that's something I'm not really feeling it right now.
So the interesting thing about pregnancies, just for everybody listening here, babies are very, very sacred, and especially in the spiritual world. And often what happens is they're protected, you know, because they come from a group of souls, and those group of souls still stay connected. Like we all know, children are much more sensitive than adults usually are, as far as psychic connection or connection with source, universe, etc. So oftentimes they're very protected, and there's only some amount of information, you know, that psychics can even pick up on. But what I am feeling is that there is a likelihood that another pregnancy is to come. What I keep being shown is quite a strong feeling of abundance. And a weird thing that I keep being shown is you, Alyssa, receiving communication from your body. So definitely take notes of that. I do feel it's likely for you to also have another child in the future here. Again, they're not extremely specific. They are showing me it's likely. But again, remember, children are protected. Think about this, you know, when you look at somebody, just like Cathy and I were talking about before, when you look at somebody's social media, you're doing an energy exchange, right? Well, if you were to have a psychic or people who are aware constantly tapping into a baby, you can influence that energy. And so this is why there's sort of this beautiful protection over beings that are in development. So they aren't always influenced or pushed in some type of way. And so there is this sort of natural protection mechanism that comes up. I think that's also why mothers have these crazy intuitive notions and moments with other mothers, you know, and their children, because they understand that vibration. Obviously, this isn't something I'm going to always be able to speak on in this lifetime, because I'm a male in this life, but I know I've been female before. It's a weird feeling. Like I know I know you all might call me crazy for this, but I swear I know what it feels like to be pregnant. Like I have a psychic memory of it in some way because I know I was a woman in a past life. I just, an interesting, unique, beautiful thing that I think mothers get to experience. So there is that natural protection that does come. But again, Alyssa, you know, don't let yourself stand to take anybody's abuse, emotional, physical, anything. And I think you hit it right on the head. If he comes to you with a profession of love and he seems sincere and dedicated, you know, that he has undergone this change that Kathy and I both feel him in, then I feel that that would be an acceptable time to allow your energy to open back up to him. But again, don't let yourself stand for any kind of abuse that comes your way.
Absolutely. When you're talking about, you know, you feel that you have conceived it, again, you know, I don't really normally tap into that type of energy, but what I want you to do is to just to watch, how do I explain this? Allow that body, you know, whether you've conceived or not, and remember to put that body, this your body itself and possibly a child, put it into that highest regard. Okay. And when it comes to him and the things that he may be possibly, you know, doing, or the lies, or even, you know, some sense of abuse, you have to stay into that energy of what is going to be the best for myself and my child as we expand through this life, and really stay within that energy. And I feel that that's going to help guide you. And as you said, you're already, you know, you have a very strong intuition, you know, you have those psychic abilities. So really rely on them, really listen to what spirit is trying to tell you, because I do feel like that message that came through for you, you know, from spirit already, and more messages are trying to come through, but there may be a little sense of, you know, again, you know, you do love this man, you do want that relationship, but listen to spirit very strongly as you're moving forward is what I get. Yeah. So I hope that's helped.
It's a tough situation, and we recognize that for sure. But you know, I'm a romantic, I think, at heart, and I believe that love kind of overcomes all. Yeah. Yeah. Even our little human issues and ego masks that come up.
Yeah. Yeah. You're so welcome. I hope that that's helped. And, you know, are we going to do one more?
So we are very much over time.
Yeah,
here,
you got to go, right?
I feel like we should do one more lottery.
Okay.
And we can do our last one here, so we can try. You know, I hate to leave people disappointed, but we are on time constraints. So we'll do one more lottery read for those of you that have been patiently waiting. We really appreciate you. And again, to those of you that have donated, thank you. Very much appreciate it. So let's see, we're going to go with, let me make sure my list is updated. Let me send one in here, just so we all see whose number is who. And if I didn't get everybody, you can let me know here. So again, your number is right before, and I don't have time to edit all that, but your number is right before your name. So 1 is Carrie, 2 is Tori. And if I'm missing anybody, please let me know if you're not on the list and you want to be on the list. And I will add you, and then we will generate. Just in case here, is there anything you wanted to tell anybody? Any announcements or anything, Kathy?
I don't think so. If you guys do want a personal reading, just a second. Sorry, I didn't mean to. I was just trying to confirm something. If you guys do want a personal reading, so my personal email is oracleintuitions1111.com. You can message me there, or you can contact me through my Facebook page, or my Instagram for personal readings. Again, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Brandon, anything, did you want to put yours down?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you'd like to book a reading with me, you can do so at thedreamteacher.com. And what I like to do is give a little discount for those of you that do listen live. So let's see. I am just making sure I generate it now. So for me, if you are listening live and you do want to get a reading, you can do live 4, LIV as in Victor, E, and the number 4, and I'll give you 30% off a reading with me, a full reading. So instead of these little mini things, we kind of go even more in depth with what's going on with you, your energy, any other questions you have. If you have a ton of them, you can shoot them off rapid fire. It's no big deal there. But that one's only good for a week. So what's today? What's today's date? The 30th?
Yeah.
Are we already at the 30th?
Yeah.
My goodness. All right. So yeah, that will be good till the 6th here.
Okay. Yay. All right. What number did we call?
All right. Is everybody in? Did anybody else come in and add to the list?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, Jenna.
Oh, Jenna.
Oh, wait. No, Jenna's at number 7. Okay,
yeah.
We've got her. All right. So the number is... number 11.
Angel.
That's Angel.
Angel, are you still here? Maybe you can just confirm and put down your question if possible.
I think, let's see, what do I've got? Angel 524, so Gemini. And if you are not here, we will have to skip and go to the next person. So we'll give Angel a moment to make sure that they're still here. But if not, we'll have to go to somebody else. I know Angel has been in the chat and has been waiting since the very beginning of the show, but it seems like they might be coming in and out. And so that's why we said, make sure you listen close. Listen closely. Be patient, because you never know. Yes, I'm just putting up that LIVE 4. Perfect. 30% discount. Calling Angel, Angel, Angel. I'm not sure the pronunciation. I know it's different each person.
Okay.
I don't see Angel in here.
I don't either. So we'll pull someone else.
I'll have to go to somebody else. Last chance, Angel. Last chance, Angel. Calling all the angels. All right. And gone. We're going to have to generate somebody else. Okay. So next up is going to be number 4. Number 4. Who's our number 4? Will.
Oh, okay. I don't know if Will's still
Angel just got here.
Oh, Angel. Well, I don't think Will is actually on anymore. I think Will had to go. So we can still take Angel. Yeah.
Oh,
hey,
no,
Angel.
Will is here.
Oh, Will is here. Okay. Should we do maybe we can quickly do both?
Dios mío. Okay. So let's start here with Angel. Angel, what is your question? And Will, go ahead and type your question in the chat as well, please. So Angel, the Gemini. Will, just general. Okay. I think we can do that quickly here at the end. All right, Angel. So Angel actually might be delayed a little bit.
Okay. There might be a delay with Angel. Okay.
Yeah, there could be a little bit of a delay there.
what we can, if Angel's typing in their question or whatever, why don't we just start with Will, and then when Angel's comes up, we can.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Will, interesting energy with you this week. Yeah, I don't know why I get this. Oh, sorry. Oh no, I mean, Angel, absolutely. You have a chance. Yes. Type in your question. I'm going to put this in the. Are you typing that too?
I am.
Okay, I'll let you do it. Okay, so Will, interesting energy. I don't know why, and if you can confirm this for me, it feels like there's a lot of pacing. I don't know if this is your literally body pacing or your head is pacing. It's like energy going back and forth, like a lot of I just felt like a lot of pacing with you. I don't know if that makes any sense. Maybe you can confirm that with me in the chat, but it just feels like there's a lot of anxious sort of energy here, but it's not all particularly bad or anything like that. There's a lot of thinking that is going on. I feel like you're really listening to. I feel like there's some decisions that you're trying to make, or maybe some choices that you're trying to make. But here's the thing is, yes, both body and mind. Okay. So that makes a lot of sense, because I feel like, I feel like you're trying to make this decision. Here's the thing. So what I'm hearing, and again, I'm just going to get into this a little quickly. This is listen. Your guides are trying to tell you, we are talking to you. This is bringing about some anxious energy, but you're already feeling and hearing the messages that we have for you. You just have to, I feel like you may not be hearing exactly what it is that you want to hear, or there may be some work behind what it is that you're hearing. And so that might be putting a little bit of a blockage around you in some way. It's kind of like, yeah, I know I have to do that, but I don't want to, type of energy in some manner. So basically what they're saying is, like, they are talking to you, that they are trying to respond to your questions, and so not to hold back if you can. Okay. Try not to hold back, is listening to the intuition that's coming through, the messages that are coming through for you. They are talking to you. So I hope that makes sense.
I think it's a good tapping in here, because I definitely feel very similarly. One thing Spirit keeps showing me is that there could be a lot of astral travel right now. So I'm not sure, Will, if you're kind of experiencing that or interested in doing that, but they do keep showing me that this is a really good time to be able to do that. And in fact, they keep showing me that you may even be able to communicate with guides or get kind of information at this time. So really, this feels like a great time to kind of merge the mental, spiritual aspects of self, because they seem to be working in harmony. And I think, for me, that's always a good confirmation. When anxiety kind of comes up or things of that nature, it's always energy trying to move, or for the consciousness to kind of tap in a new way. So that's a good validation here that this is kind of what needs to be acted upon. So it seems like you are getting quite a bit of energy here. So I think doing some astral travel might even help mitigate some of that pressure as well. I always find that when I'm getting like this nagging or gnawing feeling that might create nervousness or tension or anxiety within myself, that it's always asking me to kind of look within and to navigate the different realms, of consciousness. And I always find, some kind of new development or something that opens up within myself that was kind of waiting there, and you can really use your feelings, especially, so many people have negative opinions of anxiety or nervousness, but really they're just indicators, right? They're just saying, hey, there's something that you have to pay attention to. And, it's up to us to look for it. It's up to us to look and figure out, where that is. Yes. So I think this is a good time, absolutely, to do that, Will.
Yes. I just listen. like that was literally, that's the message that is coming through. Listen and stop being stubborn. There's an interesting energy, but I hope that's helped anyway. It's funny, you go into all of these words and I'm just like, yeah, this.
Angel.
I'm trying to use my words better. Yeah, angel. Okay, so.
Angel, what is going on?
Calm down, angel. Okay. Okay, so what's the outcome if I tell the Libra my feelings? What are her feelings for me? Does she like me? Okay, so
hang on one sec, Kathy.
Yeah.
I want to make sure Angel refreshes their feed because I think they're so far behind that they're now seeing we're calling Angel's name. And so I think they're just very far behind in the feed here.
Okay.
My goodness.
All right. Well, maybe we'll just, you know what? They can always watch it back, right? So.
You're right.
Yeah. They maybe they're in a totally different time zone or something like that.
All right. Well, let's just give the reading here.
Yeah.
For Angel.
Okay. So, the general feeling that I feel from this person, this Libra, towards you, there's a sense of frustration that I get from them. I feel like they do like you. They feel like they see this possibility. I feel like they feel a sense that there is an attraction there. They enjoy the time in some way spent with you. But what I am getting is a sense of frustration. Because I feel like there is an element of some degree, some sort of pushing, which is funny because as we're watching the feed go by, this is the energy that I get from the Libra. It's almost like you're not letting them breathe. You're not letting them. What the heck is going on? Okay. You're not letting them breathe. You're not letting them think. It almost feels like there's this energy of like, I want it now and it has to be now. And if it doesn't happen now, then I'm getting upset with things. So, does that make sense? Do you get that? I haven't seen her. I only saw her once. Yeah, I feel like I'm not getting a lot of is there somebody that's going crazy on the feed here?
Yeah, there is. They've been removed.
Okay. Okay. I feel like with this person, like I said, there could be an attraction. There could be an energy that they could like you, all of this stuff. But I feel like but I feel she doesn't know what I feel for her. Don't go giving out any feelings at this point is what I'm getting. Just at this time, I don't feel that they have, like I said, there might be an attraction, there might be an interest, there might be something there, but I'm not getting that this is a time for you to, reveal everything that you're feeling or thinking towards this person or anything like that. I feel like this is in regards to, how do I explain this? You don't want to push this relationship is what I'm getting. Did you want to add to that?
I think Angel had asked actually the exact same question last week or the week before. And I remember this energy from Elisa just being that cool, very chill kind of vibe, but that, you know, needed to be impressed and connected with. And I feel like, you know, Angel, you absolutely have to come through as being confident if you do want to approach. But what's more important is that friendship, those little small, short little steps have to be built on continuously. I know that you had mentioned last week that you've been friends for like, I think you said 2 years or something like that. And I remember feeling that was so incredibly important to make that transition of friendship into something more as easy and seamless as possible. But doing so, you have to be confident. You can't just, you know, Elisa's energy has to feel like, you know, you're going to be that strong, solid rock force in her life. She's not going to be able to take you, I guess, quote unquote, out of the friend zone unless you have that, you know, unless you have that strong sense of confidence in your own self. So if anything, you know, asking if you should ask her out already takes that confidence away, if that makes sense. So you're already creating an energy that she isn't going to want to connect with. So in all reality, you have to be confident in yourself, and you have to be like, okay, you know what, this is, you know, I have this feeling and I want to follow this feeling, you know, and nobody else is going to be able to tell me otherwise. I feel like that's the energy that she is going to respond to more. Also, be careful about false senses of confidence. You know, the ego really likes to think it's confident all the time, but really the ego is just filled with hot air, and people can see through hot air quite easily. And I know Elisa would. So you really have to make sure that confidence is something that is grounded within yourself, that you feel this connection between your own body, your own spirit, and to make that palpable around you where other people can feel that. That's where she's really going to respond, and that's what's going to get you out of that friend zone with her and into something a little bit deeper and more committed. I
don't feel that there's anyone else. I feel like maybe there's, you know, people that she's talking to, but here's the thing, instead of just opening up and throwing all your feelings onto the table, I do feel like if you were to just ask her out, that would make the difference. And like Brandon said, if you have to ask if you should ask somebody else, there's that lack of confidence. What you want to be able to do is get yourself into this place where this confidence is going to, you know, exude itself, like it is going to come through. Ask her out. Start, you know, it's not about being in the friend zone. It's truly about being friends. And I feel like you're kind of going from A to Z, right? And by pushing this relationship, it could stick you into a friend zone, if that makes any sense. Like, you don't want to be in that friend zone. You want to create a friendship in order to have that strength and confidence. And I feel like going slow with this will make that difference. Make sense?
I think that works, because that's how real confidence is built.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's how real confidence is built, is it's a steady process.
Is she here in Texas, or is she out of town? I honestly, I can't tell you. I feel like you know, here's the thing is, again, that would be something that you could come forward with and just ask her. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you're, you know, there's nothing wrong with just saying, hey, you want to do this? You want to go for a coffee? You want to, you know, go for dinner, whatever it is, you know, that you want to do it. You know, you're going to allow her to respond in that way and say, hey, I can't because I'm here. Okay, that's cool. You know, build up that friendship, but not the friend zone. So I hope that makes sense. but I definitely don't feel to spill all of your feelings onto the table at this point. That's not something, that we should, I don't feel like that's the best, next move. So I hope that helps.
Relationships are such a process, aren't they? They are.
But they are, right? And that's the thing is, like, I think a lot of people aren't sometimes really willing to go through the process, right? Like we're so anxious to just have the end result that, we're, but we need to build up those, the friendship, the trust, the confidence, all of that. I mean, that's within ourselves, but it's also having that trust and confidence within that person. So
yeah, and those things take time.
Yeah.
They absolutely do.
Yeah. Like, I mean, personally, for me, I mean, I'm if I went for coffee with somebody and they were like, hey, we're like this, I'd be like, oh, can we all say the words restraining order? That's not going to happen, right? But I want to have, I personally, for me, I like consistent, because consistent builds trust. And that is an energy, consistent trust, all of that friendship, that openness, allowing, it doesn't happen overnight. And anyway, it is what it is. So I you know what, Brandon, thank you so much again. I hope the rest of your week goes amazing.
Thank you. You too. I will be. Remind me of the challenge again.
So the challenge is
manifesting something.
Manifesting something this week. So remember that, make it something that is going to be tangible for you. So, don't try to manifest a buffalo in your front yard unless you literally are living in like the wilderness. But
buffalo roam.
Right? You imagine waking up, there's freaking buffalo in your front yard.
That'd be so cool.
But
it's funny, I'm actually wearing a buffalo shirt right now.
Well, there you go. See? I do feel that or what was I saying? I do God, I was manifesting. Try to make it something that is going to be tangible. You can tell I'm getting hungry because my brain's like all over the place now. Try to make it something that is going to be, tangible for you. You can, to put the energy behind it. Just expect it to come. Allow these things to happen. This is going to be the challenge of the week. Something small, but something that there's no emotional attachment to. Okay, so this is going to be, like I said, maybe a loony, maybe a barrette, maybe a butterfly, maybe a bird. Try to leave it in that energy. So
I will be working on that here.
Yay!
We'll see what next week brings.
Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
And remember, if you have more questions, we'd love to answer all those questions, but these are just mini readings. So if you do want to have all these other questions answered, just book a session with us. We'd be happy to go way in depth with you. So that option is absolutely there.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Truly appreciate it. And big hugs, and have an amazing week.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
1 second.